Welcome back, I'm Kelly Price. After last night's baseball game in Tallahassee, it is safe to report that the pulse of the Florida-Florida State rivalry is alive and well. After being trumped on the football field by the national championship Noles, Gators took to social media to brag about last night's 8-0 stomping of the top-ranked FSU on the baseball diamond. The number 15 Gators clinched the season series against FSU last night in Tally, winning its third game this season against the Seminoles. With the 8-0 win, Florida completed its first shutout of FSU since 1994, when most of these players were in diapers. Gators second baseman Casey Turgeon broke open the game in the fifth with his third homer of the season right here. This was also the third home run the Gators have hit in consecutive games. Next up for Florida is a series in Columbia against the number 5 Gamecocks. The UF-FSU rivalry goes on with FSU's softball team hosting Florida tonight. Florida is coming off a rough 16-game stretch in which the Gators face 14 ranked teams, winning 8 and dropping 7. FSU, also ranked, has won 17 in a row, including the last meeting with the Gators on April 2nd. First pitch is at 6 p.m. Tune into the action on ESPN 850 WRUF. Well, yesterday was April 8th, or 4-8, what some are calling the Florida Day after the Florida football team's 4-8 season. Florida football isn't joking around this spring, though, with crystal clear messages like buckle up and shut up. New offensive coordinator Kurt Roper seems to be breathing some life into Florida's offense, including into quarterback Jeff Driscoll, who missed last season after breaking his leg. The problem now, as the first team distances itself from the second team, is developing solid backup squads. But head coach Will Muschamp seems to think that's a manageable problem.
When you talk in terms of when that first group comes out with too much of a separation between the first and second group, I think the talent is there, the quality of player is there, just consistency in the performance has got to pick up.
Florida's Orange and Blue debut kicks off Saturday at 1:30 in the Swamp. As is typical for colleges whose team win national championships, windows have been broken, fires have been set, and lots of things have been turned upside down near the University of Connecticut campus. But what's not typical is for both men's and women's squads to come home with NCAA trophies, which UConn did. UConn's women's team dominated Notre Dame last night in Nashville 79-58 for the women's title. The game was the first national championship meeting between two undefeated teams in the women's big game. The men's and women's Huskies took both titles in 2004 and now, 10 years later, are still the only school to have accomplished that feat. Also, some breaking news this afternoon. Chris Walker tweeted that he's going to play next year for the Gators again.
Yeah, good news for Florida. Thanks, Kelly.